Honesty, passion, experience. It's Timberwolves Explosion, hosted on the Paladinolive network. And now, your host, Paladino Joey. Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I'm your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Timberwolves Explosion is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, but featuring Spotify, we encourage you to download and listen to the show on Spotify. It'll help the growth of the show, and those of you that have, thank you very much. It's been a decent percentage of you that have been using Spotify, so please keep doing that and encourage others to do so as well. It's a free country. You don't have to. It's a free world when it comes to podcasting. At least I'd like to believe so. The NBA playoffs have continued. Denver has been, on a tear, you could say, and is in the NBA Finals waiting for the winner of Boston and Miami. We'll talk about that a little bit, where the Boston Celtics are now 2 games. They have now recovered 2 games after going down 3-0 in the series. Both teams went down 3-0, the Lakers and the Boston Celtics. The 2 teams I was thinking, oh, wow, Lakers and Celtics final? Well, that's done. The Lakers got brushed to the side. Boston Celtics appeared to be brushed to the side, especially after game number 3, but an impressive turn of events the past couple games. We'll see what happens tonight in game 6. Apologize for the timing of things, because it's game 6, though. You're going to do the show now? Well, yeah, it's been a while since I did the last show. So partially it's been a while, and partially I'm sorry for waiting so long to do it. Busy schedule and cleanup season and all that crap, along with now and again I want to do the show fairly soon as well, in terms of because we're leaning closer and closer into the State of the Timberwolves episode, State of the Timberwolves 2023 edition, which it comes up usually before the NBA draft, even though the Wolves will not have a very large role in that draft, barring some change coming up. I want to talk about the stupid comments by D'Angelo Russell about 3 weeks ago now. Unfortunately, again, kind of late to the party here, and I apologize, but might as well get to it now. D'Angelo Russell, basically, talking about his time in Minnesota, said, I felt like I was held back there, honestly. I just kind of had to be the third option. Some nights, I was a little more aggressive, and I was kind of being held back. So to be in a position now where I can kind of thrive and be aggressive, and it gets guys going, and where the team reflects on anybody with that type of energy, it's fun.
Oh, yeah, right.
So what option are you in Los Angeles? 4th? 5th? 3rd? Oh, well, I guess you're 3rd. So, again, I have no idea what he's talking about there. That's kind of funny. We appreciate the humor. It's, it's interesting. It's humorous, to say the least, as Baloo the Bear there just had his little opinion on it. Ha, yeah, right. That's, I believe there's some more segments here. Again, he was like, well, I had to play behind Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, and then him and Rudy Gobert and all that crap. Here's some more stuff here. I felt that my confidence is being taken away with the style that I was playing in, Russell said of his role with the Wolves. I'm a killer, man. I'm a bird that needs to fly, and I couldn't really fly there. They put me in a box that I was successful in, but I did not. But I did that for confidence. I had to kind of cater to guys, and respectfully, I was with it because we were winning. But I know what type of player I am. Yeah, I could play some other sound bites for this one.
Just drop dead, shut up, and get out of my face. Shut up!
I don't know. The guy is tone deaf. The guy is delusional. I don't know. Reprobate mind. I don't know. Maybe that's a little harsh, but maybe he is kind of a reprobate mind. You can see more and more why this guy, D'Angelo Russell, was, there was just a bad vibe the minute he got in the car with Flip Saunders, going into the 2015 draft, which the Wolves ultimately had the number 1 pick and took Karl Anthony Towns. D'Angelo Russell went number 2 to the Los Angeles Lakers, his current team, his second stint with that club. I'll never forget Vince Germano's reaction to the trade, or the rumors of, trades and rumors of trades before it happened. He had 2 words to say: bloody hell. No. For Americans out there that are not familiar with Australian slang, that's literally you've got to be bleeping kidding me. That's basically what that is. Like, no, please, no. I'm sure most people are familiar with that by now, though, I would hope, since we've globalized so much with the internet. What there is to say? What's there to say? I mean, the NBA is filled with really, in every sport, basically, it's filled with really cocky, arrogant people that are full of themselves, that are narcissists, that are, that can't wait to give themselves credit for everything, despite like, oh, my teammates this and that, but behind the scenes, it's all about them. It always has been. But this guy seems to take it to another level. Literally, to another level. And I think that was a vibe that Flip Saunders had. The vibe was just wrong the minute D'Angelo Russell got in the car. He probably was like cursing and just acting like he's bigger than everything, bigger than the world, with his fancy outfit, maybe fancy glasses or whatever the heck. It's just, and you see the Celtics get stomped in game 2 at home. This was after losing the second game at home during the series. And what was it? Williams, I believe, one of the big men on the Boston Celtics, was up there wearing a fancy coat. Just the fanciest coat. Like, you're up there more, you seem more interested in making a fashion statement than like, okay, we just went down 2-0 to an 8th seed in our house twice. That's so, but you're more interested in making a fashion statement in the post-game press conference, like, look at my jacket, look at all the pretty colors on it and stuff. Really? So, I don't know. I'm not impressed with a lot of that kind of stuff. But again, D'Angelo Russell, I could just see, again, like he was just more interested in being the coolest guy in the room than anything else. And I think that's just who he is. That kind of stuff is ridiculous. Mike Conley is nothing like that from what I could tell, obviously. So, again, an adult in the room. I'm a million times happier with Mike Conley than I could ever be with D'Angelo Russell. And in their prime, who was the better player? Oh, Conley, by 100 million times. Conley's got him beat, like, in every form, every shape and form. Classy, respectful, competitive, everything. I'm sure D'Angelo Russell's competitive when he feels like it. Otherwise, he's sitting out with soreness in this and soreness in that, or he just doesn't feel like playing. But now he's a killer. It's just, who are you? D'Angelo, who are you? Are you Jekyll? Are you Hyde? Are you D-low? Are you D-high? Are you D this? Are you D that? Are you downloading? Like, what the heck does that even mean? Or deloading? Like, that's great and everything. Everybody's more interested in their stupid nicknames, their fancy coat or whatever the heck, their fancy glasses that are fake, filters on Instagram. It's just why can't people just play the game? I don't know. Thankfully, there are guys in the NBA, plenty of them, that aren't like that. But unfortunately, there are too many that are. And it's not just the NBA. It's NFL. It's every sport. Every sport's got people that are just more interested in being the show rather than, like, being a part of the show and winning games and all that. They're just more interested in being the side show rather than the show itself. How about that? If that makes more interest, if that makes more sense. But I don't know. I mean, I could again see what Flip Saunders didn't like about D'Angelo Russell. I could just imagine him getting in the car and just being the cockiest, arrogant SOB you ever met in your life. And you're just sitting there like, okay, I don't think I like this guy. No, seriously, I don't like him. I can't wait till this is over. Get out of here. I'm never drafting this SOB. He's probably not gonna be half as good as he thinks he is. Well, if anybody said that in that occasion, well, they ended up being dead accurate about that, because a lot of us thought D'Angelo Russell was going to be a killer. We thought he was going to be a star in the NBA. I was like, well, the Lakers just got themselves a legitimate, top 5 point guard in the NBA. No, they didn't. They got a top 5 guy in terms of, ego and attitude. That's about it. Yeah, you got one of the top 5 ego attitude point guards in the NBA. Steph Curry rules that roost. No, I'm just kidding. At least he wins games and all that. He's not as much about all that fashion crap, but he's a cocky MFer, but at least he wins, I guess. So I'm actually giving Steph Curry the upper hand in this one. Probably not that big of a stretch. I think you know my feelings about Curry. I'm not a fan at all, but if you're new to this show. But D'Angelo Russell, it didn't take long for me or other people like Vince Germano, Tanae Brown, Levi Brown, local radio, like the Judd Zolgads, the Phil Mackeys and such, to just be like, what the heck's up with this guy? So it didn't take too long for us to figure that out. And it's unfortunate. And you keep realizing more and more and more why the guy's been traded. It wasn't like Sam Cassell, who kept getting traded because the other team wanted him real bad. Though there was another side to Sam Cassell, too. He had a shelf life. Because the first year, he'd love the coach. Wow, this is the greatest ever. Wow, what a great mix. The guy is like the best point guard in the league, practically. And the next year, just like, it's like oil and water. He hates the coach and this and that. So there was that with Sam Cassell, too. But at least the other team wanted him really bad rather than the other team wanted to get rid of him. The team wanting him was stronger than the team wanting to get rid of him. Where I think D'Angelo Russell, the team wanting to get rid of him, is stronger now at this stage. He's not going to sign a max extension with the Los Angeles Lakers. What a shock. That's more of a current conversation going on. But what an absolute surprise that, I don't know, a max extension for this SOB. And remember his reaction when the Golden State Warriors offered him, like, was it like $36 million a year or something? And he's like, you effing better sign it, blah, 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 like to his agent. And it's like, dude, come on, talk like an adult. Like, do you have to be like a 12-year-old about everything? So stuff like that, or like a 16-year-old. Just, dude, it's just, I don't know. It's just little things like that add up. They add up. What was another thing? This is all Sports Illustrated, or no? It's Bring Me the Sports. This is different. I thought it was, it's Fan Nation. I apologize. Fan Nation, so credit where it's due there. Well, Russell said that he never asked to be traded. He also said it was his gut feeling that he wanted out because of his fit with the Wolves. I never asked out, Russell told Amick. Never. I just felt that, parentheses, I wanted out in my gut. I never spoke on it. I never showed that. I just felt it. That's all. Well, whatever. We can tell. We can tell. We wanted you out too. So thank you for the mutual parting of ways. Well, Russell is an impending free agent. He mentioned he would like to stay with the Lakers, but admitted it's a fluid situation. His comment is, I would love to stay here, but I would have loved to be in Minnesota too. So wherever my feet are, that's where I'm going to be. So yeah, the whole musical chairs thing, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know where D'Angelo Russell's going to wind up. Could it be the Clippers? Odds are he's not going to return to the Lakers. They did get their butts stomped out. He got benched in the series versus the Denver Nuggets. He was basically unplayable. He went from a guy who had some moments, who looked kind of clutch, looked kind of good, had some good games, and then kind of disappeared off the face of the earth, kind of like every other damn series. Fortunately, the LA Lakers, every other damn season he played with Minnesota, I should say. Lakers ultimately beat Memphis. The Lakers ultimately got past the Golden State Warriors, which I was very happy about. That was the best series in the second round, other than Boston-Philly. That was a very epic basketball. That was a very epic series as well. Denver up 2-0 to Phoenix. Phoenix ties it up, and then Denver wins the next two. Yay. But that Golden State series versus the Lakers was pretty fun. It was unbelievably fun, enjoyable seeing the LA Lakers go up 3-1. Unfortunately, losing Game 5 in San Francisco, Oakland, whatever area. Unfortunately, the Bay Area, as they call it. But then the Lakers end up finishing them off in the sixth game, and that felt so good. Lakers built a huge lead, and you could see the Warriors finally losing a series with all their players intact. Outside of the NBA Finals, like it was like finally good riddance to this group of schmucks. They finally lost a playoff series outside of the NBA Finals when actually making the playoffs, because the year D'Angelo Russell was there. Steph Curry broke his hand, and basically they left him out forever. Klay Thompson is recovering from an Achilles and an ACL, if I remember. It was like two things. It was ridiculous what happened. I believe, he had an ACL first. Yep, that was in the NBA Finals versus Toronto. And then he had an Achilles later on after that. So clearly you could see as the playoffs progressed anyway, Klay Thompson's not the same guy. And I don't think he's going to be. Am I going to miss him? No. I think it's finally over, I hope. Last time we all thought it was. And the Warriors stormed back last year and won another championship, much to my massive chagrin. And I'm not the only person that doesn't like the Warriors. Breaking news. Breaking news. I'm not just this weird, crazy person who can't handle it. No, a lot of people can't handle it because it's annoying. They're the endless cockiness is annoying. I hated that smile on Steph Curry's face when the Warriors beat Sacramento in Game 7. I hated that look on his face. Ooh, let me tell you. But thankfully, the Lakers took care of business in 6 games versus that team and that rubber-munching son of a biscuit. Oh, my goodness. The Boston-Philly series was epic. It was outstanding. And then the Celtics took it to him in Game 7, and Doc Rivers was hence shown his walking papers, he was shown the door, so to speak. Absolute thromping. 112-88, which could happen to the Miami Heat should that series go to Game 7. In fact, I'm predicting that the Boston Celtics, and watch me be dead wrong tonight, the Miami Heat will absolutely smoke the Boston Celtics. just watch. The Miami Heat will smoke them tonight. And that's kind of what they have to do. Because if they don't, and the Celtics hang in there and win the game, the Celtics will destroy the Miami Heat in the 7th game. They will. Once that momentum swing is powerful enough to get to a 7th game after a 3-0 deficit, the Boston Celtics win the game. And I still think they win the title, which would be quite a story, coming down from 3-0 to win it all. They're going to do what the Boston Red Sox did in 2004. Not because, oh my God, they're so much better than the Denver Nuggets, because they're probably not right now. After going down 3-0 to the Heat, they look far inferior to the Denver Nuggets, who do have the best player in the world today. Yes, they do. But it's a momentum thing. When the pendulum swings hard enough, there's not a whole lot you can do. There's a reason why that Boston Red Sox team, destroyed that St. Louis Cardinals club in the 2004 World Series. Once the momentum swing is powerful enough, you can overcome a 3-0 deficit. The other team is bleeped, and the team after that probably is as well. Probably. Especially when you have enough talent like the Boston Celtics do, and they're relatively healthy enough to do so. Some of their tone-deaf behavior and attitude upon losing games 2 and 3 was extremely unimpressive as well. The way they went belly up in the NBA Finals versus the Golden State Warriors last year, extremely unimpressive. So if they go belly up tonight, it's like, so be it. You got your Denver, you got your Miami NBA championship. Unlike in hockey, most people are probably against the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. I think the Denver Nuggets are going to get it done. Where I'm getting the feeling from most people that the other 8th seed from Florida, from Miami, Florida, the Florida Panthers, will end up winning the Stanley Cup this year as an 8th seed. After coming back from 3-1 versus the Boston Celtics counterparts, the Boston Bruins, in the Stanley Cup Finals playoffs first round. So maybe I'll do a Brave the Wild very soon, kind of a similar one like this, catching up before State of the Wild 2023. So hint out there if you give a crap about that. Hope you do, but if you don't, it's a free country, a free world, whatever, when it comes to podcasting. I can't stick your earbuds in your ear and say you're listening to Brave the Wild. I simply can't do that. And even if I could, that wouldn't be very nice. It'd be nicer if you actually chose to listen to it without me telling you to. But Denver, though, I mean, they're starting to look like that team that's on a mission every year in every sport. They're starting to look like that team. And I don't know. I'm not cheering for them. I'm not a Denver Nuggets fan. But let me tell you, Jokic, a guy who 2 years ago I was like, yeah, he deserves, you know what? I want to give him the MVP vote. And then he got it. And then the next year it's like, okay, yeah. See, it's like instead of the Joel Embiids and the Steph Currys of the world, like, oh, I hate this guy and I don't like that guy either. Why not? Why not Jokic? He's so versatile and blah, blah, blah. And then you keep watching him, and you watch what the Denver Nuggets did in the playoffs now that they are finally freaking healthy. And Jamal Murray came back and is a killer, unlike D'Angelo Russell. I take Jamal Murray 10 out of 10 times over D'Angelo Russell. 10 out of 10 times, and I think most of you would as well. For those of you that wouldn't, I don't know. I don't understand you. Jamal Murray, really? You wouldn't take Jamal Murray over D'Angelo Russell? Okay, sure, right. Jokic is the best player in the game. He is Arvydas Sabonis that we never saw. The Arvydas Sabonis that was still in Europe, that was young, healthy, spry, and a Magic Johnson at 7 foot plus. A Magic Johnson, like Magic Johnson was 6'9". He was a hybrid. He was a one of a kind, a 6'9" point guard who was the best passer in the world, who could do a heck of a lot else as well. He could rebound the ball. He could score. Driving to the basket, he could shoot a little bit, but I mean, he did a lot of great things, did Magic Johnson. his defense was adequate, not great. That was probably his weakness, but when he had so much talent around him, they were up and down the court so much, it almost didn't matter. That's why he had high-scoring games in the 1980s with the Los Angeles Lakers on the court, where Jokic doesn't run the floor like a Magic Johnson or anything like that, but he moves that ball like it's a toy. And if the Denver Nuggets go on to win a championship, that's why. Because they have the best player in the world who deserves the championship. And the Denver Nugget fan base can finally celebrate a title. Denver fans, I'm not a fan of you guys out there, but maybe some of you. There's nice people everywhere. So not everybody's your enemy all the time just because they shoot for another team or maybe they got a attitude or whatever. They don't have to necessarily be your enemy. But, pardon me. But yeah, over the years, Nuggets fans and Colorado Avalanche fans have gotten under my skin, have pissed me off on Twitter and stuff, but whatever. It's a fan base that's waited a long time. Going way back to Larry Brown as a head coach when they were in the ABA, and they were winning. They were champions in the ABA at least once. I should have done research on that, but I could probably pull it up here in a minute. But they were a championship team in the ABA. But since merging with the NBA around the mid-'70s there, 45, 50 years ago, it's been a long wait for the Denver Nuggets to get to the finals, and they're finally there. Finally, da-da-da-da-da. So they're kind of almost like the Phoenix Suns. They haven't been around quite as long as Phoenix, about 5 years less, but to not even get to the NBA Finals. See, I mean, it took that long. So I don't know how much longer it's going to take for the Wolves. Hopefully with Anthony Edwards, we can get there faster than Denver did, but we'll see. Denver Nuggets had a pretty crappy history at times, and then they had some really nice teams. I wasn't a huge Carmelo Anthony fan. I was a gigantic Chauncey Billups fan. Do you blame me? Better with Detroit, though, when he first got there. Chauncey Billups, much better, but still very good at Denver as well. His second stint there again, another guy who came back and was better the second time around. But a fan base that's been through a lot, again, like I've said, and there they are in the NBA Finals, and they'll be playing a team that's won 17 championships or a team that's won 3 championships. But either way, it's nothing new. They just beat a team that won 17 titles. Phoenix won 0, and the Wolves obviously have never been to the NBA Finals. So, yeah, Denver got through a couple of teams that are championship-less along the way. But then, yeah, obviously LeBron has 4 titles, 4 rings. The franchise has 17. Vince Germano has pretty good knowledge of that, along with Stu Benson and others that are Laker fans. Kalen Woods, in case you're listening. Hello to you, big time. And again, big apologies to Reese Pedretti. I know, yep, he's a Warriors fan, been one for many years, and all that. I don't mean to be a huge hater. I don't know. I'll like the Warriors more once you know who is no longer there, along with the coach too. They just bug me. I'm sorry, they bug me. D'Angelo Russell played on the Wolves for years. I was excited to get him, and a year or two later, he bugged me. Zach LaVine bugs me. I said it. Zach LaVine bugs me too. I think you can tell if you've been listening to the show for a while. He kind of bugs me. I think he's more about being the coolest guy in the room rather than actually winning. I just feel that. That's all. It's just a feeling I have. Some guys are like that. I'm sorry, and I'm not a fan of that kind of behavior. I'm around it enough in the workplace. Way too much. People of all shapes and sizes, let me tell you. All shapes and sizes. Anyhow, with that said, Boston Celtics have enough. If the Boston Celtics have enough momentum to win this series, they will beat the Denver Nuggets in 7. It'll be a long series, but they'll beat the Nuggets. They'll win. Miami Heat win. They get to the finals. Denver Nuggets win their first NBA championship. Suffice to say, the Miami Heat will not win the title this year. I'm sorry. They're not going to. If they were going to, they probably would have put the Celtics away. But that shows something that they're probably not going to win the whole thing. They might be able to. Bam Adebayo has been unbelievable. Jimmy Butler's been an absolute killer, and I'm kind of like forgiving Jimmy Butler a little bit now. Karl Anthony Towns looks, compared to, Karl Anthony Towns has lost that argument to Jimmy Butler. He has lost. Barring some major changes happening to Karl Anthony Towns and his overall toughness as a player and progress as a player in this league, Jimmy Butler has won that argument. He's won. He's been to the finals already. He's been to the conference finals at least 3 times, I believe, right? This is at least the 3rd time. He went there last year against the same Celtics team. This is actually a rematch, which is funny. A lot of us might forget that pretty quickly. I certainly did. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. The Heat went to the conference final last year, didn't they? But lost to a very nice, young Celtics team that I thought was going to beat the Warriors. And I don't know. I really did, but they didn't. They just freaking didn't because they went belly up when it mattered most. Win one for number 6. That's all we got to say. And I don't mean LeBron James. I mean I don't mean Dr. J either. I mean Bill Russell. I don't mean Dr. J. Anyhow, but Denver Nuggets, I see them winning it. If the Miami Heat play them. At Wolves Explosion, no, not that one. At TWolvesEX, at TWolvesEX is the Twitter account. So we'll go there for some fan interaction. There might be some on the Facebook page as well. Sorry, I'm kind of moving on the fly here. This is a 1-segment shot, kind of like this last episode, if I remember correctly. Interesting. Seeing some stuff here. Opening this kind of, again, on the fly. And I apologize. Facebook.com/Timberwolves Explosion. But we'll go to Twitter first. Or so I'd like to believe. God, I hate having to click on all that stuff just to open a page. It's kind of ridiculous. I think there's a couple of notifications. Yeah, Peter Vesey, too. We'll talk about him in a minute. Where was I? I think there were some retweets. Yeah, boy, I haven't done the show in over a month, have I? May the 5th or so? May the 5th be with you? Almost a month. Yeah, the Stitcher feed was messed up, but it's fixed now. It's actually working now, which is really cool. Episode 368, Lakers vs. Celtics Finals, is now on the app, blah, blah, blah. Retweeted by Derek Felska, Vince Germano, and Levi Brown. I do believe Tanae retweeted it as well. Thank you guys so much for that. Yep, I was going off and cursing and screaming at, Lonnie Walker was having that amazing game in that Warriors series, and then he started missing shots. They felt like they were almost forcing it to him. Sorry, I had to turn the fan on here, getting hot because it's Memorial Weekend. But yeah, and then he started making some shots. I was saying Lonnie Walker has that look. He reminds me of the classic 80s Lakers, like one of the great role players from back then. Maybe Byron Scott? So Lakers Carpool Podcast liked one of my tweets. Yep, we follow each other. We were both on the Basketball Podcast Network. Unfortunately, that's been dissolved. But we're still following each other, so hope, shout out to you, Laker Carpool Podcast. Cool. So, D'Angelo Russell, you wouldn't want him carpooling with you if you're Flip Saunders or probably the Lakers. So, that's what I'm guessing, just in case Lakers Carpool Podcast is listening. I don't think you want D'Angelo Russell in that carpool. I was saying easy call, sorry, rubber muncher. Your feet were moving like 50,000 times. And he was flipping out about, hey, that was a charge. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Rubber muncher. That's what I call Steph Curry because that's what he does the whole damn game. It's kind of dumb. Lakers versus Nuggets, Western Conference Finals it is, blah, 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 blah. I was saying the Lakers need to finish the job. Don't give the Warriors any opportunity to get back in this one. Step on their throat and say goodbye. And thankfully, the Lakers did that in Game 6. So today Brown was saying there's some seriously talented coaches available right now. I think it's 5 that have been to the finals in the last 3 years. Are we sure Finch is our guy? And Vince Germano says, I'm pretty sure he isn't. Vince Germano at Vinrock44. Tanae Brown is at Tanae Wilson Bro. In mid-May here, not too long ago. Yep, so conversation between the two guys here. Tanae responds with, I thought he was fine for now, but with everyone available, it might be time to move on already. Vince Germano said it's not totally his fault, but if I'm an owner, I go out and get the best available. Yeah, because you got Budenholzer, you got Doc Rivers. I'm not a fan. Sorry. I think he's a fraud. He's lost so many playoff series. Other than 2008, he's been a failure. I think he's an overrated coach, underachieving coach, Doc Rivers. And he quite frankly, he talks too much. He complains too much. I don't like him. I thought I did. I really thought I did. In 2008, 2009, 2010, I love Doc Rivers. Since about 12-ish or so, since he got to the Clippers, you started really seeing more what he is and what he's about. I don't like him. Just, ugh. I don't want him, and I don't like him. Whoever hires him, good luck. That's all I'll tell you. You're not going to win the championship. You're not. Spoelstra, yeah. Spoelstra, Marcus the Forecaster argued with me forever when I was saying, yep, he actually is a really good coach, and Forecaster basically was like, no, I'm never going to say that. I think Spoelstra won that argument. Not me. I didn't win it. Spoelstra won the argument. It has nothing to do with me whatsoever. Eric Spoelstra is a Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Fame coach, in my opinion. He's done an amazing job. And I respect the hell out of him. Wish he was our guy. Wish he was. But he's never going to leave the Miami Heat unless something really weird happens. Like a huge blow-up or something. But he will never leave the Miami Heat. To think he started back just kind of a video guy back in the day. Probably had VHSs. Because we're talking like, early to mid-90s. They probably still used VHSs, right? In those days. Man, I mean, I certainly did. I didn't use DVDs until like 99-ish. I was kind of late to the party on everything, pretty much. But Spoelstra, yeah, I mean, he's a hell of a coach. He really is. His team's overachieve. He's the anti-Doc Rivers. He's the anti-Doc Rivers. I said it. He is. His team's overachieved. Doc Rivers' team's underachieved. Except the 2008 Celtics, who, well, they went to 2 7-game series when they were the best team in the league. It took the 7th game, but at least to their credit, they finished the job. Thank you. They finished the job. It took, 7 games to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? They got the job done, but again, it took them 7 games. If LeBron didn't choke and puke down his legs or something during the course of that series, the Cleveland Cavaliers might have gone to the NBA Finals that year, but they didn't. Anyhow, this is 2008, way back in the day. Cleveland Cavaliers were the defending Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll talk a little slower. We're the defending Eastern Conference champs that year, don't forget. But unfortunately got swept to a team I'm not a big fan of either. But I don't know. Huge respect, though, to the Spurs. Tanae Brown says, let's see what the conversation was here before I... Okay. Canis Hoopitz reacts. Did NBA draft lottery results make Karl-Anthony Towns... Okay, so... Yeah, conversation about the Portland Trailblazers are reportedly open to moving the number 3 overall pick. Would that pick interest you in a package for Towns? Yeah. I think so. I'm not a huge draft expert this year, but I know I do know that this draft actually is a huge thing. This draft this year has amazing prospects. I've heard a lot of good things. And, of course, the guy at the top there from France, who was, 7'5". Tread carefully. 7'5" players don't always... Yeah. Ralph Sampson was a great prospect, and he did not have a great career. He had a good career, but he deteriorated. Yao Ming, same thing. No rhyme intended. Yao Ming, same thing, unfortunately. Once you get to that certain height threshold, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of risky. He looks amazing, but I don't know. What's his name? Victor, right? That's his first name. Tanae Brown says, makes sense for both sides. I know so little about same here. How about this draft cast outside of the top 2 players, though? Same here, because of, you got the top 2 guys who get all the headlines. And, of course, you get the Christian Laettner versus the Alonzo Mourning and Shaqs, right? That would be typical Wolves, and you give up Karl-Anthony Towns and has a great career in Portland, but I don't know. Maybe he won't have a great career in Portland. He might not. Yeah, both me and Tanae, obviously, and I think many other Timberwolves fans are probably in the same boat because of the fact we know we don't have a draft pick this year. We have a draft pick next year, so it's like a on-off thing for about 4 years. On and off 4 times anyway, not 4 years, or 8 years, on and off for the first round of the draft, barring trades and such, to accumulate draft picks. And maybe the Wolves would want to do that in a trade for Karl-Anthony Towns, accumulate at least 1 or 2 first-round picks to help during the years where we don't have a first-round pick. That'd be smart. But, yeah, there's no pick this year, so bottom line, that's why we're not really involved. The Timberwolves may trade into the draft and this and that, and we'll get back to that when we need to. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, if it happens. But I doubt we're going to. I just doubt it. But that's the end of the Twitter conversation. Facebook page, facebook.com/Timberwolves Explosion. How far back do we have to go? Yep, there's a couple. There's a comment or two here. The Celtics final. Okay, here, this was a cool one. Joriza Louis Lenore, Leonid, I think I'm saying his name correctly, coming in from the Philippines, which he often shares stuff and tags me in it, NBA related, and I appreciate that, just in case you're listening. I do. Lots of NBA fans in the Philippines. Unfortunately, a lot of Warriors and Lakers fans, but it is what it is. Just like, like probably most people are like, oh, what's the name of this team? Like soccer. Manchester, yeah. That's like the New York Yankees of soccer. Yeah. That's just how it is. That's how it is for us too here. And I don't watch soccer really, unless it's the Loons and they're on a playoff run that ends in a heartbreak. Like you're up 2-0 with 5 minutes left and you find a way to lose. Sounds very Minnesotan to me in the conference final. We could have been in the championship game for the MLS 2 years ago, and guess what? We lost. That's right. Yep. Anyhow, make an all-time NBA starting lineup using only the first letter of your first name. So like J in my case. So Louis Leonard has Lewis Williams, Luka Doncic. That's, of course, point guard Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams, huh? But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? Luka Doncic at shooting guard, LeBron James. Yeah, that's not a bad pick. LaMarcus Aldridge at power forward, Luke Longley at center. Luke Longley, Mr. I hate everything because I'm unhappy. Just kidding. 10 comments. I like that. Guys. Thanks. This is fun. I like this kind of stuff. Vince Germano with all the V's. He's the V-man. Vern Fleming at point guard, Indiana Pacers. Vernon Maxwell. Yep. That guy was crazy with the Sonics, but good player. Later with the Rockets. Big Vlade Divac, one of the great passers. Vince Carter. How dare you. And Vin Baker. Cool. Nice lineup there. Tanae Brown says, Vin Rockets, GM and coach. Sounds good. Joey Awajan. Yep, I put mine in there because I can, damn it. Well, I can. I want to say something. And Jay's, I think I turned out okay. I don't like one of them, John Stockton. I don't like him, but man, he was a hell of a player. Point guard. Enough of my opinion about I hate this guy and stuff. I'm sorry. John Stockton at point guard, Jerry West at shooting guard, Julius Irving at small forward. Julius the Doctor Irving, sorry. And then the next Julius, Orange Julius Randle, who I guess apparently is not as great of a guy behind the scenes as they thought, or as some of us were hoping. And he's a mediocre to below average defender, which is 90% of the NBA, I guess, supposedly. Center Jack Sikma, former Seattle Supersonic. Yep, and former Timberwolves assistant coach as well. Big Jack Sikma. I liked him. He was normal. He wasn't an ass. He wasn't like great player, but an ass. Bill Laimbeer was an ass. Anyhow, Tanae Brown says, I like this team much more than yours, I guess he was saying. I was saying, yeah, I think it's a pretty decent team. This kind of thing is a lot of fun. I don't even like John Stockton, but might as well have him be the guy because, well, it's a J. Tanae Brown, Tony Parker, Terrell Brennan at shooting guard. Tracy McGrady at small forward. Thaddeus, I never rebound anything young, and my wife tweets people that say anything mean about him. Yeah. What was it? Felicia Young, I think was her name. Yeah. I remember mentioning that about 10 years ago. I got tweeted from her, like, what, so points don't count? And I said, well, they count, but I'd like more rebounds, too. Like, rebound, Thaddeus. You'd get, like, 4 rebounds a game. That drove me nuts. Tim frickin' Duncan at center, and he replies to it saying, would struggle to exactly. Yep, I think Tanae remembers when Thaddeus Young played for the Timberwolves. Would struggle to rebound, but not horrible. Yeah, they would. But no, it's a talented team. Tracy McGrady in his prime, oh, he was awesome. One of my favorites. Dan, Joe May, love hearing from you. Why the heck didn't I like these? What a jerk. Joey, you're a jerk. I'm not going to like him. I'm going to love him. Okay, Dan, Joe May. Point guard, Damian Lillard. I didn't do it. No, seriously. Stop. No. Okay. Whew, he went to the other house. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. Sorry. I know it's not funny. Oh, let me tell you, I love some of these names. Okay, Damian Lillard, point guard, yes. Devin Booker, not so much. Great player, but I don't know. He's another one that bugs me. Small forward, an all-time favorite for the Paladino, he would be on my personal Mount Rushmore of favorite NBA players of all time. Dominique Wilkins. Yep, Dominique Wilkins. Dominique, I have his autograph in the closet over there on a jersey. Wilkins. Not personal, though, but business. Yep, I was able to buy it. And it was on sale. Why? I don't know. It just was. Dennis Rodman at power forward. Hell yes. And Dikembe waved my finger in your face until it was illegal to do so. Mutombo, the mountain, in Denver. Yep, and then, yep. Tanae says, that's a great game. Yes, it is. It really is. And Dan May responds with plenty of scoring. Definitely defense and rim protection. I was thinking Dwight over Dikembe. Nah. Yep, that's how he put that. Is that all? I thought oh, yeah, I guess it would be 10 comments. But thank you guys so much. Tanae, Dan, and Vince Germano for jumping on board. Those kind of things are extremely fun. Aren't they, though? Tell me you don't like that kind of stuff, where you can put together a team, with a letter or whatever the heck it is. Maybe like the greatest 80s team. The 80s maybe have Magic Johnson and Michael and Dominique and Karl Malone and Hakeem Olajuwon. There you go. That would be my all 80s team. Probably, or Patrick Ewing, maybe, because... Nah, Hakeem Olajuwon. Crazy how I was able to just say that. I didn't think I would get that out so fast. Yeah. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins at small forward, of course, Karl Malone, and Hakeem Olajuwon. If it was just all 80s, all 90s, David Robinson at center. Yeah, it's going to be David Robinson. He was in it when he was at his absolute best. Was the 90s. You could say Hakeem there instead, but I'll go with Robinson just to be fair. He was a little bit younger. David Robinson. Probably Malone again. In the 90s at small forward, probably not Dominique Wilkins. I said Dominique Wilkins at small forward, didn't I? It's Larry Bird. Now I'm going to cry. It has to be Larry Bird in the 80s. Come on, man. What am I talking about? So 80s, it's Larry Bird at small forward. So Dominique is not even going to make it. That sucks. Point guard, John Stockton. Ugh. Point guard, John Stockton. Michael Jordan, and again, small forward. Not in the 90s. It won't be Larry Bird. That's a tougher one. Probably Pippen. Ugh. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like Pippen anymore. He's an asshole. Jeez. He's an asshole. Yeah, he is. He is. Did you watch? Did you watch the? Did you watch what the heck is it called? The Last Dance, and some of the stuff he's been saying again. Like Michael was a horrible player, basically. Until I got there, and then he started playing defense or something. It's like, oh, really, man? All he did was score, and he never passed? Okay. God. Come on, man. Michael Jordan probably still have that same response. That, yeah, this is what Michael Jordan's laugh was probably like when he saw Scottie Pippen say what he did this past week. Yeah, pretty much. So, again, John Stockton, Michael Jordan. Small forward's a tougher one. Kevin Garnett. No. Yes, no. He played small forward, but it was kind of late, though, in the decade. Who the heck was the best small forward? Oh, yeah, it's Pippen. Power forward, Karl Malone again. Yeah, it's Karl Malone. And center, David Robinson. 2000s, Shaquille O'Neal is the center. Power forward, Tim Duncan. Small forward, Kevin Garnett, I guess. I guess it's Kevin Garnett when he played small forward. Shooting guard, Kobe Bryant. Point guard, Gary Payton. No, it wasn't Gary Payton. It could have been, it was like late 90s. It was Payton for a while. Point guard of the 90s, probably frickin' Iverson. Ugh. But, yeah, that's a little tougher one. Part of me would be like Chauncey Billups. I loved that guy when he was at his best. But I don't know. I'm just kind of doing this all on the fly. I'm not even looking at any names or doing research. I'm just going off on my head and all that. But 2010s, it's like LeBron James until now. Small forward. But yeah, I'm going to leave that alone now. I think I've done enough babbling about that. Yeah. Sorry, I apologize. I have fun with that kind of stuff. And then D'Angelo Russell reportedly not re-signing with the Lakers because LeBron James wants to be a secondary scorer and playmaker. Wow. Sean Grant, here we go, jumps on board and says Russell failed at his chance to be great That's on him. Amen. Thank you, Sean Grant. Thank you. Sorry for being late to reply to that one, but yeah, at least that one was less than it was just 1 day ago. So no, that was a great to the point comment there. Anthony Edwards, I can score the ball with the best of them. Nobody responded to that one, unfortunately. But yeah, an amazing player, obviously, and love what Anthony Edwards' future is. Hopefully, he's going to be that shooting guard of the 2020s, and I think there's a strong possibility of it. Maybe even in the 2030s too. But the 2020s, yeah, I think he has a real shot at getting that thing. I do. Man, depending on where you put LeBron and Durant, one of them is one forward is LeBron, one's Durant. Basically, you could kind of do that. For the 2010s, yeah, I know I'm annoying now. Point guard is the point guard is number 30. I hate him, but yes, it's number 30. Gotta wash my hands. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna keep going with that. I'm done enough babbling. But I don't know, it's a fun show. I like to kind of get into that type of stuff. Please tell your friends about the show. Please click on the link. Maybe you want to open up a crypto.com account of $25, put in your account, and start trading some cryptocurrencies. It's a lot of fun. So it's in the show description. Again, download and listen to the show on the Spotify app if you can. It helps the growth of the show. And of all my podcasts on Spotify for podcasters, this one has the most Spotify listenership. So thank you. Thank you very much. It has the highest number of Spotify listenership. It had not met the requirements yet that Spotify for Podcasters needs in order for this show to get ads on it. So, and it's a short ad that would just open the show. It's not like, it's not like Locked On Wolves or every Locked On second you get another commercial. LaCroix, Orange LaCroix. Best drink in the world. Snoopy Jaw Harps. Get your Snoopy Jaw Harp on eBay, only $10. Free shipping. Snoopy Jaw Harp. Sorry for the noise there. Samsung. Oh, okay, now that we've talked 5 seconds about D'Angelo Russell, Samsung, they have the best phones in the world. You better get it. It's got the greatest Android version of Android on it, and they no longer have that annoying curve. So you absolutely want it now. So yeah, there you go. Okay, now we'll talk about, let's see, that Mike Conley guy, man, he is the leader in the room. But first, we're going to talk about Holmes fans. Oh, my God. Get them on Amazon. $15. You want to cool off while you're doing your podcast? Holmes. We want a Holmes. Okay, I'm sorry. I think you get the point. But before we get to the point, though, Logitech speakers. Oh, my God. And then go on for 5 minutes about Logitech speakers. Or Torpedo Sierra Nevada or something. Yeah, I know. That's pretty much a Locked On show. It's Locked On ads. I still listen. I still listen to the Timberwolves and Wild one though because I like the host. I like what they do, especially the Wild host. But Seth Tupel. But yeah. Anyhow, it's they're good shows, but too many ads. Ooh, so it won't be anything like that. But it would just be one to open up the show, basically encouraging you to, if you're a podcaster, to use that, basically. Use Spotify for podcasters, so on and so forth. So that's basically what it would be. With that said, again, tell your friends about the show. Tell them to use Spotify, blah, 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 blah. And really appreciate all of you so much for listening and being a part of this show for as long as you have. I love you so much. And I do mean that with full sincerity. Maybe I'll look at the demographics super freaking fast if this thing actually works. Okay, it was like freezing on me for a second. And this is a very, very, very reliable computer. Lenovo, yeah, I like it. A mid-grade Lenovo, I really appreciate it very much. Demographics, if I ever get there. God, I hate myself sometimes. United States, number 1. India, number 2. India. Is it soldiers or basketball fans? Probably a bit of both. It's probably more basketball fans, huh? Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana. Man, thank you very much, in India, for listening to the show. I really appreciate you. India, for listening. Territory of Delhi. Interesting. Very interesting. Sometimes you just don't know, or maybe the demographics are all messed up for all I know. Australia coming in third, and Victoria is the king of Australia when it comes to people downloading it. So Vince Germano sounds like he might have been spreading the word over the course of time. And thank you guys so much. New South Wales, Western Australia, Queensland, Tasmania. Pretty cool. So maybe even Wile E. Coyote's listening. The only thing Wile E. Coyote never did was say mate, and I don't know why. He should say, hey, mate. Okay, sorry. To the Roadrunner. New Zealand's down there. Yep. Auckland and Canterbury. Cool. We're not talking about Canterbury Park either for Canterbury Downs or Canterbury Park, whatever it's called, where they horse race. Nope, that's the real Canterbury in New Zealand. Auckland, otherwise, or Auckland. So, yep, Tene and Levi, love you guys so much coming in out of New Zealand, mate. Really appreciate you. Nobody from Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and they even have Pluto on here. So just in case the time comes where we'll have spacesuits safe enough to live on Neptune or Uranus, or Uranus, pardon me. You know, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, you can't even land there. You know that, right? It's like, yeah. It's like they're gas planets. They're weird. Really weird. Like, I can't even describe how weird the gas planets are. They're weird. Pluto is like 1 billion miles away. And it's, it's rock and ice, basically. Mars is what it is. So it'd be interesting to have people from there, but so far it's 0%. But just in case, 100% of you are from Earth, though. So that's always a good thing. Where did it go? Earth is missing. Okay, this thing is weird. I'm sorry, I'm dragging this out way too long, and I deeply apologize. Maybe one last thing. Hugo is number 1 for Minnesota, which is, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but hello, Hugo. God bless you, Hugo. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Hugo is a very, very nice part of the, I believe it's northeast, basically north of here a bit. But hello, Hugo. Love you. Lakeville, Nisswa, Osseo, Chaska, Waterville. Cool. Brainerd, South St. Paul. Okay, I've said enough. You're probably sick of hearing from all my silliness today. But have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful Memorial weekend. God bless the United States of America. In case you're a veteran listening to the show, thank you so much. Thank you. I love this country. I love all of you that have made the ultimate sacrifice for this country one way or another. I can't thank you enough. God bless you, and may you be remembered on this day forever. This day and forever on Memorial Weekend. God bless the United States of America, and we will talk to you in maybe about 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how things are going. Maybe there'll be a quick update first, but odds are the next show will be the State of the Timberwolves. I will put polls on Twitter and probably the Facebook page as well about your biggest disappointment, biggest surprise, and most valuable player for 2023, 2022-23 season. And any of you not voting for Anthony Edwards, I'm not sure, but I guess, yeah, it's a free country, as we say. With that said, take care. God bless America, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks.